and welcome to this week's episode of the DW podcast. I'm really excited about this one, to be honest, mainly because two of these people are the inspiration, I would maybe say, for where I eat most of my food. Chris, who we've got here, runs his own social media page. He's called ChrisEatsGlasgow. And any time that I'm going into Glasgow for something to eat, myself and my girlfriend will always look on Chris's page and find out where he's been eating, what he's been eating, and what looks good. And if there's anything that doesn't look so good on his page, we'll avoid that. But most of the stuff does look good.
It's always good to hear that people are actually looking at it. I'm not just wasting my time.
Totally. No. And Jess that we've got here, JustJess Food.
There we go.
On Instagram. And Jess she puts lots of recipes online. I'm sure we'll find out a bit more about that, but my girlfriend's always making them in the house and trying to replicate them, to be honest. So I don't know if hers are better or yours are better, but we'll need to find out. So for this week's podcast, we've got them both on. I'm just going to get them to introduce themselves and tell us a wee bit about themselves. So Jess, I'll put you up first.
So my name's Jess Teds, and someone's trying to get in the shop. Sorry, closed.
What I should have said, so for those that are listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or SoundCloud and aren't actually watching it, we are filming today in a restaurant in Glasgow called Scran. It's a brilliant cafe.
It is brilliant.
It's fantastic, which is on Alexandra Parade in the east end of Glasgow. So if you've not been in, pop in. They do amazing breakfasts and brunches, and it's a great way to cure a hangover.
And coffee with oat milk.
It's pretty much where I spend most weekends. So
he does.
So if you don't like it, blame Chris.
Yeah.
No, I have to say it's fantastic. I've only been in worse once, and it's been brilliant. So check it out if you're in Glasgow and looking for somewhere to eat. But yeah, Jess, tell us a wee bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Jess Teds, and I have the Instagram page JustJess Food. I think I'm 28, I'm not sure, I lose count. And I'm originally from Leicester, and I moved to Glasgow. I live in Hamilton about 2.5 years ago now. I moved here with my partner, Richard, and I work in the fashion industry full time, and I have done for over 10 years, but there wasn't a position for me to move here to work at Quiz Clothing head office, and I work in the international wholesale department, so I do that. And then obviously, as you know, my hobby on the side is cooking and eating everything. So yeah, I obviously have my page, and I started that whilst I was here, and it just grew so big in just a very short space of time. So yeah, I'm loving every second.
Brilliant. Chris, what about yourself? What do you do in your spare time? What's the story?
Chris Lindsay. Well, my spare time is spent pretty much eating and drinking my way through Glasgow. So I won't bore you with the details of my day job because it's not interesting at all.
Sure.
I suppose age-wise, I'm the wrong side of 30 these days.
They're looking good for it. They're looking all right.
Well, you know, trying that moisturising routine knocked down. But I started my page as just kind of a way to experience more of Glasgow because I felt I was just going to the same places all the time. And this was a way to kind of force me, I suppose, to try the places that I had a list that I wanted to get to. So I spend most of my spare time eating or drinking or just in general trying to just find out things in Glasgow that maybe people don't know about and make them aware of it.
What made you start up your pages? What were you thinking? Because I think if I was in my head, and almost even when I started this podcast just a few weeks ago, I was thinking, what if nobody follows it? Or what if nobody listens to it? Like, is it going to be all right? Are people going to tune in?
Oh yeah, that I definitely thought about that. So basically how it started was when Insta Story became a thing. And I was making a Thai green curry, and I Insta-storied Richard and myself making this curry, and we were doing it in silly voices. It was the most ridiculous thing ever, and we just did it step by step, just completely taking the mick. And then I woke up in the morning and I had so many replies like, oh my God, that was amazing. I didn't know how to make a Thai green curry. And I'm like, what? Like, that was to me, I was literally banging everything in a pan. So a lot of people, so I started doing it every night, literally for like 2-3 weeks. And then my friends basically said to me, why don't you start your own page? And I said, what the hell would I call it? And then one of my friends said, Just Jess. And I'm like, what do you mean Just Jess? Like Jess or Just Jess? And then, so that became a thing, and I just did it. And I remember in the morning I woke up, I started my page and I just put a couple of things on it. And originally, Chris, I was a bit like yourself. I was going to post restaurant reviews, and I started posting. Me and Richard did a trip around America that summer, so I started posting a few places I'd been eaten there, and a few of my recipes. And then I woke up in the morning and I went to the gym, and I finished my gym class, and I had 100 followers, and I was like, oh my God, I've got 100 followers. What the hell? Like, I can't believe 100 people want to follow me. And then it just grew from there, really. And then it got a little bit more exciting when Instagram allowed you to do the swipe. So I just came across it. I just start taking pictures of the step-by-step, and I thought, I'll just play around here, and did it. And it just seemed that obviously people like things visually and like things really simple. Then I started writing the text on it. So it wasn't like a big thought out plan. I just did it gradually. And then obviously everyone's like, I really love your page because you do it step by step.
Sure.
So it's just kind of become the thing, and I just keep it very the same. And I try not to do too many recipes because obviously I'm only human. I don't cook like that every night. I really don't.
Sure.
So I just try and post once a week now. I think it kind of keeps people wanting more and gives them time to try other things on the page as well.
And it takes time, but as well, doesn't it? Because
so much time.
A few times I was doing recipes on mine, and I was doing like you were doing the stories with the step by step. But ages. Like you take the pictures, you're making the videos, then you're still trying to keep an eye on the food and make sure you don't ruin your own dinner. And then you've got to then go and then
make it present it well.
Yeah, and then try and like put it all up in a story where it sort of follows a path, and it takes like an evening to do it.
It really does.
That's why I stopped doing it, because I'm doing that on top of all the other stuff that I was doing. It was just like
it really
I was losing a whole night.
So before you were putting recipes up as well, Chris, or you
I just
quite a lot yourself?
when I first started, I did a lot of home cooked meals and stuff on it as well. Just because I'm slightly different for you, because you're doing recipes and people kind of wait for the recipes, whereas with me it's kind of I post every day because people want content all the time. Where's good to go, which diet, like what do you recommend? And sometimes if you go to a place and you have 2 or 3 different things, you've got a few different posts for it. But when I started out, I was conscious that you have to be posted every day to kind of be relevant and for people to not just get bored of your page. So I posted a lot of home cooked things at the start. I don't so much now because sometimes I've got too much stuff to post that I've got a backlog of like, oh God, I need to remember and post that place I was in last week. So totally. I don't really need to do it now, but I did a lot at the start, and it was a lot of hard work because you're trying to do it on the stories and stuff, but you're also still like you're videoing it, but then you put the phone down, you've got to stir it and make sure there's no burning and all
and the
this
food's
stuff.
Always cold when I'm about to eat it, because obviously I take so long, not so much now, but I try and present it well on that flipping wooden chopping board on top of my cooker, and it's like, okay, it's cold now. It's not that exciting, but it does take a lot of my time. Like last night, for example, I thought it's a Monday. I always try and post on a Monday and sometimes on a Thursday, so people can do. What I try and do is like a meatless meal on a Monday, is what I used to do. And then a Thursday, sort of like a fake away, so they can prepare it for the Friday. And yeah, last night, for example, I already had all the content. It was something I made months ago, but it still took me a good 2 hours because I'm writing on each picture. I'm making sure the text is fine, any errors. Like if I'm claiming something's vegan, I have to ensure it is, because you do get people messaging like, once it's up, you can't delete it. So we can't change the text on the thing unless you delete the full thing. So I have to be really careful now that I've got a bigger following, because there is people that do want to say some things, and good and bad things, but yeah, you've got to be careful.
I suppose it's almost like a part-time job on top of a full-time job to a certain degree if you're spending 2 hours in the evening. Yeah, certainly.
It really is. Like you spend a lot of time, like, I mean, you go to the place and you're taking pictures, like you're saying about eating cold food. I can tell you the last time I ate a warm meal in a restaurant, everything's lukewarm when I eat it, because I spend like 5 minutes like taking pictures of it from 90 different angles to make sure I get the good, people like my girlfriend holding their phone over it sometimes with a light if it's a really dark place to try and get it bright enough. And then you go home, you're editing pictures, you're writing up like little blurbs and stuff, you're posting stories, so you're not using these pictures in a post, but you're still editing them because you're going to put them in your story, and if you really like the place, you want the pictures to look good, so you take time over it. So like I spend a lot of time doing it, like even like lunch breaks on work and stuff, like editing pictures or on my break and stuff. It is quite time consuming.
Have you ever thought when you're in a restaurant, oh no, everybody's looking at me here, I've got my girlfriend with a light over the top of me and I'm trying to get the best photos?
I used to be really bad for it. Like I wouldn't like even like want to stand up and like try and get like a picture of everything that was on the table, and then like my girlfriend would just be like, just stand, like nobody cares, like
just do it.
They're eating their meal, like they might think you look like a bit of an idiot, but in fairness, you don't know them, you're never going to see them.
And you are doing it for a purpose, it's not like you're just doing it just to be an idiot.
It did take me a while to go over that kind of I used to kind of sit with my phone really low, like quick picture, and then like in the pocket, like right, that's fine, we can eat now. And now I'm like trying to get it to like 90 different angles and stuff. So,
but you've got that support network there. I know if it was my girlfriend, she'd be like, "Put your phone away, what are you playing at? That's embarrassing."
She's come to terms with it now. She used to be like, because what I do now is I always like, take pictures of her food first.
Right.
Because we generally order stuff and both kind of share and have half and half. So I'll take pictures of her dish first so that she can then actually eat it while it's warm, and then I'll go around onto mine.
Wait till yours is cold,
so she doesn't complain now that she gets to eat warm food, so that's at least something.
That's positive.
You touched on it, Jess. You says that you put up meat-free meals. Are you vegetarian or vegan? Or?
Yes, well, I'm not now. So basically,
What a hypocrite. So when you're not now, is that not a commitment when you're in it for good?
So not this Christmas before, I watched a few scaremongering Netflix documentaries. And
I've heard of it then.
Yeah, and then I also, to be honest with you, I haven't always been a massive red meat eater, or like lamb shank or pork belly, that sort of thing just does not interest me at all. But don't get me wrong, I have eaten it, but I would never choose it on a menu. I'm probably more fish. And then I think what happened was I was prepping the Christmas turkey. I made an amazing Christmas dinner, and it was one of the first ones I did when I was up here for Richard's family. And I was prepping the turkey, and honestly, it just made me feel sick. I was like, this is disgusting. The smell, I just couldn't handle it. So then by the time I'd already cooked it, and I put it on for Christmas dinner, I just couldn't touch it. And then I thought, right, it's New Year's resolution, I'm just going to try this. So I stopped eating all meat, but I continued to eat fish, so a pescatarian. I did it for a good 9 months. I felt okay. I'll be honest, I didn't feel any different. I can't tell you anything that I felt different, apart from maybe my skin got a little bit better. But I did feel good, and I enjoyed it. I was trying different things on menus, I was exploring different foods, and I felt like vegan food was actually really easy. And so then I started posting them, and I got a little bit more of a following from people that were vegan and vegetarian. But then the backlash was I wasn't posting enough chicken. And now what I've done, I haven't to this day still eaten chicken. Okay. Maybe I have a couple of times, probably by accident, I don't know, but I don't consciously eat
Accidental chicken.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I can't put my finger on it, but I don't think I have eaten chicken since. So.
And just to clarify, you're not putting up meat-free dishes with chicken in them? That does not happen.
No. But what I do is I do make meals with chicken now for Richard, and then also for the followers. So I'll always write in my caption meat alternatives. But yeah, it's just something that 9 months in, I started craving mincemeat of all things. So corn just wasn't doing it for me. I liked it, but I don't know. I just started craving it again. And then I gradually started eating it. Then I created the amazing sausage pasta that everyone loves. And then I was obsessed with that, which obviously is sausage meat. And yeah, so I started eating it again, but I still haven't eaten chicken. Yeah, so I'm more pescatarian. I'd say I'm 80% pescatarian. And then I always have maybe 2 to 3 vegan meals a week, which to me don't feel like being vegan. I actually thoroughly enjoy them. I
think that's one of the biggest criticisms of people that do eat meat. It's very hard to find good vegan and vegetarian alternatives, but yeah. I suppose the reality is that's not the truth. It's just people are being lazy.
At all. It's not at all. Like, I cannot believe how easy it is to make vegan food and how accessible it is. And all supermarkets have so many free from aisles, and how filling they are in comparison to chicken and veg is unbelievable. Like, the power of plants is true. Like, it does make you feel really good, but I do understand that I did find it difficult eating out. You do only have limited to one thing on a menu if it was vegan, and a couple of things that are vegetarian. I hate mushrooms. So for me, a vegetarian option on a menu would be mushrooms. And for me, I was like, well, I've fucked it here because I can't have that. So, yeah, bad.
I don't need to ask you, Chris, because I don't think there's a man in Glasgow that's ate more burgers than
or chicken wings.
Chicken wings, yeah.
Pretty much anything that's like dirty, like style food, like burgers, fried chicken, loaded fries with meat and everything else. Like that's kind of my wheelhouse, I suppose. Like, I enjoy going to places and having like a nice fancy meal. Is that like for like a birthday or an anniversary and stuff like that? But 9 times out of 10, if you ask me on a Friday or a Saturday night if I'm going out for dinner what I'd want to do, I'd want to go and have a burger or something like a pizza or something like that. That's the kind of food I enjoy. So that's that's what I go and have, and that's what I tell people about. But I said I enjoy other foods. Like I love places like Six by Nico, Spanish Butcher is like one of my favourite places to eat.
I've seen you putting up these little mini slider burgers with Spanish Butcher.
Oh my God.
And I'm desperate to try them, but I've not got round to it yet.
We tried them and they were that good that in December we went back to Spanish Butcher for the full size version that they do, and we just went in and we ordered a couple of burgers and a couple of cocktails. And I mean, it's a bit pricey in terms of like other burger places, but for me it's completely worth it. Like I would pay £20 for a burger if it's good quality ingredients. That to me, like price for me is relative. If something's good, then you'll pay what it is, and if it's not good, then you won't pay it. Like,
totally.
But yeah, that's my kind of burgers, fried chicken, pizza, chips. I love that.
Am I right in saying this? Who's your honest? How do you not get super fat? Because
Yeah, I always think this about you. You're just not at all.
Well, I used to be really heavy and I lost a lot of weight years ago, like before the blog and stuff, and I go to the gym kind of 3, 4, 5 times a week on my lunch break at work because it breaks up my day. There's a gym on the campus where I work, so that all kind of works for me. And me and Kirsten, my girlfriend, like we eat relatively healthy when we're not out. So dinners during the week we'll cook. We'll try and do a couple of maybe veggie ones, or like we turkey mince and stuff like that. I'll take like wraps for my lunch. I have yogurt and granola and fruit for my breakfast. Like I try and be healthy as much as I can when I'm not out, because I might know that week I'm going to be eating dinner 3 or 4 times a week out. So every other meal is like as healthy as I can possibly make it, and that's
it's just trying to find that balance.
I think I did like a question and answer thing on Instagram stories on Friday, and somebody asked me the same question, and that's what I said. Without being preachy, it's just about a balance. It's, you know, if you know what you're doing that week, you can plan to be healthy at other times, as opposed to just making burgers and pizzas in the flat and then going out and having burgers and pizzas. Do you know what I mean? Totally. So it's just about trying to get a balance.
I think you can tell we're in the East End of Glasgow because there's almost a square go happening outside the shop now.
I think a man's fighting with some pigeons, no?
I don't know who's going to win, if it's going to be the guy or the pigeons.
That is an East End square goal. A man versus pigeon.
Here he is.
Fuck,
he's fighting with the pigeons.
He's certainly not happy with the pigeons.
I kept him shouting, asshole!
Just annoyed my shot.
Can he get Scran? He's went mental.
I think we're teasing people because the shutters are up, but they're not getting any food. So that's what happens. We're going to cause an absolute rammy. So you were talking earlier about your social media following, and how I suppose for both of you it kind of rocketed. When was the point where you thought, you know, I'm really, really engaging with people here, and this is quite serious, you know, rather than it's just my friends and family that are looking at it? Or
maybe when I hit 10k, I was like, okay, saying that number out loud, like 10,000 people wanting to actually follow me, I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, what the hell? And I know in comparison to some other people out there who have millions, like for me, I was so excited when I even had 100, so I couldn't get my head around it. And then between that and 20,000, that grew really fast. And what it is, I just think, is because my page has high engagement. I think because people are using it as sort of like a recipe book, so they all keep coming back to my page to get inspiration, even though I don't post a lot, which worried me. I was thinking, I know you know how the algorithm works with Instagram, but if you're not posting enough, you get put to the bottom of the pile, basically, on Instagram feed. So I was worried about that, and the first time when I started it, I was putting myself under a bit of pressure, thinking, well, I need to post else people won't see it. And then now it's people are revisiting my page constantly to see what they're making for dinner tonight. So that probably boosts it a little bit. And then Insta Story helps, where you can now direct people straight to your post. And then also people use Insta Story a lot to take pictures of their food. So they're tagging me when they're making the food. That's helping me a lot, helping lots of businesses out there a lot, and many pages. So that's when I just think it's now just going from strength to strength.
It must have been quite bizarre when you seen people initially taking photos that you didn't know that their dinner and tagging you in it and saying, I've just copied your recipe, I suppose.
It's bonkers, honestly. I'm just like, I have people at work saying like their grandma loves it, or their sister's brother, whatever, I don't know. I'm like, what? So yeah, it's bonkers. And then I was at the other day, I don't really post a lot of pictures of myself on there, but maybe I do a couple on my story. And I was at the gym festival in the SEC thing, and this girl came up to me. She's like, "Oh my God, are you just food?" I just did not know what to do. I'm like, yeah. She was like, "I am your biggest fan." And for me, that was just freaked me out. Like, obviously in a lovely way, but I was like, how is this possible? How do you even know what I look like? This is so strange. And she was like, "No, honestly, like all my friends love your page, and we all cook your food. You've saved our lives. We didn't know how to cook before, and we love it." So, and I get so many messages from people saying, people that have had eating disorders or didn't know how to cook, people struggling with their weight, just general people saying their relationships got better because they're now cooking with their partner in the evening, or they're saving money from takeaways. Seeing those types of messages makes me think this is all worthwhile, and I want to keep going, because it's crazy how you can think that food can just make such a difference, and it really does bring people together. And people send me photographs of their babies like finally starting to eat solid foods, and they're trying the pasta, or they're cooking meals for their grandma and granddad. At Christmas dinner, people were making my cheesecake on Christmas dinner. Like, I cannot believe I was a part of someone's Christmas day. That's just, to me, is just amazing. So yeah, it's crazy to think that just a small little page can have an impact on so many people's lives.
It must be really heartwarming as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like I try and reply to everybody, and it's getting quite a lot. But I just think I'm so grateful for people just take the time out just to tag me, or even just making a recipe. It's amazing.
I almost feel like sending Chris the opposite messages and saying, "You're making me skint and fat."
I was just thinking, your page sounds much more rewarding than mine. I just get like people messaging me saying, "Oh, that burger you said was good, wasn't it that good?" And I'm like, you know.
No, they don't.
Each to their own.
Do they really?
No. I get a lot of people messaging me saying like they went somewhere because I recommended it and they really enjoyed it, and that's obviously good. That's something that I probably never expected to happen. I remember the initial conversation when I was going to start the blog. I was driving Kirsten to work, and then I was heading to work after, and I just said to her, "Do you think my friends will think it's quite wanky if I start a food blog?" And she was like, "Yes." And I've got 3 brothers as well, so you can imagine like the stick that I got at the start, like just because I was posting on like my own Facebook and stuff. "Oh, I've started this blog, like go and give it a follow," and this kind of stuff. And I never really knew what to expect from it. It was just, you know, people say, "Oh, you just keep posting pictures of food." So I thought, right, well, I'll set up a separate page and I'll post them there, and we'll see what happens, sort of thing. But if you're going for that kind of conversation where people are going to think I'm wanky for doing this, to getting like people messaging you and saying like, "Oh, I've went there and it was really good," or I get people messaging saying, "Oh, I'm going on a date, can you recommend a good restaurant?" Or like, "Me and my partner are going for dinner, like for our anniversary, like where would you recommend?" Or, "I'm visiting Glasgow," and asking for recommendations, and being able, because I know going to a city maybe like where you don't live, you can waste a lot of time going to places just because like it says on other places that they're good and they're not, do you know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to recommend places that I genuinely think people would enjoy visiting, and then getting that feedback that they went and it was good, or, you know, or even just giving people like, "Here's 5 places, like if you can get to one of them, like you'll be doing well." And I'll try and obviously throw in like a few bars and stuff like that as well that they can do after it, and if there's anything else that's kind of fresh at the top of my head.
Well, I only came here because I saw it on your page. I see it every frigging week.
Yeah, I was kind of like the unofficial media for Scran. I got so excited when I seen this place was opening. It came up like on the Instagram, and I looked and I seen Chris's page, and it said that he'd worked in Cafe Strangebrew, and I thought, I've been to Cafe Strangebrew, it's really good, but I hate having to go to the south side anytime I want like a good brunch. I was like, I'm going to get some good brunch within like a 5-10 minute walk to where I live. Like this is the dream. And in fairness to Scran, it's the food's very different for Cafe Strangebrew. I would say it's more like the mac and cheese specials and burger French toast. But I mean, again, that's all right in my wheelhouse. That's all the things that I would go and eat for dinner I can get on a brunch plate. So like for me, it was just amazing. And that's why, because I was sit there on a Friday thinking, right, when are they going to announce a special for this weekend? And I'll be like, "Oh no, I'm going back to Scran again." People are just going to be like, "This guy works for Scran," and but I don't. But it's so good, it's so close, and
cheap.
Yeah, and as always,
sorry, good value for money. I don't like the word cheap.
Don't say cheap, Jess. The prices are big enough.
Good value for money. I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I was like that. It was £13, right? I had this incredible Nutella. What is it?
Oh, the French
toast, 2 bits of avocado, a pot of tea, and an oat latte, and it was 13 quid. I was like, pardon? So yeah, I big rate it. Woohoo.
But I think the thing with the special here is it's always really different. So, I mean, there's things on the normal menu that I love and I would come and get every now and not every now and again, but you know what I mean? Like, maybe would want to come every week and have the same thing, but the special is always that different and that good that it doesn't feel like you're going to the same place all the time because
the menu changes.
Sometimes you go to a place, there's places I love, but I've been to them that much that I won't go back for a while because I'm like, there's only so many times I can have that burger, or there's only so many times, you know, you can order that dish that you really like. Whereas in here, at the weekend, there's always something. I think one time I actually came in and just asked Chris if I could make my own dish. I was like, if I just give you some ingredients, can you just put it on a plate? And then it came out and it was this beautiful like toast with halloumi and crispy halloumi and poached eggs and sriracha.
Stop it.
And I was like, this is... being able to come into a place and just kind of create your own dish on a Thursday afternoon.
Don't you start promoting that, Chris, because everyone will start coming in with bags of shopping, ready, steady, cook.
That was only in a quiet afternoon, so not at the weekends.
I feel quite sorry for Chris that owns this place now, because he's going to have to put his prices up, and he's going to have to start making dishes that people bring in. Folk are going to be turning up with bags for Asda for like food.
Was it can't cook, won't cook? You get like the bag of ingredients, and they have to like create a dish out of it.
As if he's not busy enough on a Sunday, there's folk turning up and demanding that they make their own dishes.
Brilliant.
I suppose when he says there you've got brothers and you started it and you thought, oh God, is this going to be a bit wanky? It's almost, without sounding stereotypical, I think it's almost easier for women to do that because there's this kind of stereotype about men that, oh, that is a bit wanky.
There's not a great deal of guys that do blogs. Like most certainly food blogs anyway, it's quite heavily like female saturated.
Yeah,
so it is a bit different than that. But like I say, I would no problem with it. I know loads of people now that are in the kind of the food scene, for lack of a better term, and everybody's like really nice and really supportive, and you always get like people kind of giving you a mention or a shout out and all these kind of things. But yeah, there's...
Do you get a ribbon off your brothers?
What
you putting up this week? What's that?
Not so much now. Like actually, like my little brother, who was probably the one who was at the start being like, oh, what are you doing that for, sort of thing. Like the last time I seen him up at my mum's, he was like, oh, so that fried chicken place you were posted about, that looks amazing. Like, where's that? And I was like, oh, so I was telling him about Bucks Bar, and he's like, I think me and my girlfriend are going to go there.
It's went full circle.
He's went for like, what you doing this for, to be like asking me for recommendations.
Oh,
that's nice.
So it's good. Like one of my brothers lives in Ireland, and when he came over to visit, I had been invited somewhere for food, and I got to take him along, and he got to kind of see as well, like what I do in terms, like, say what I do, I take pictures of food, but he got to kind of come along.
Don't just take pictures of food, you've got a light above them and you're...
Aye, well he was a lighting technician that night, but no, he got to like come along and kind of see you talking to people and having a chat and get to kind of enjoy a freebie out it and stuff like that. So it's nice to be able to do things like that as well when people come over and visit. But to say it's went a bit full circle. It's went to kind of you're a bit wanky to where can I take the wife, or where can I take the girlfriend, or me and my mates are going to go out for dinner at the weekend, where's good for a big group of people to go and stuff.
And I suppose it must have its benefits as well, because you two, for example, have met each other before and you get invited along to a lot of different stuff. And
yeah, a few places. We went to I saw you at the Dam, wasn't it? The other day?
The Dam.
Yeah, that was really nice actually in there.
That's like my dream place.
Yeah, it definitely is your dream place.
It's like decorated like Amsterdam, like
it's
neon lights, red neon lights everywhere. Like
minus the women.
Minus the women.
But like burgers, loaded fries, and all this kind of stuff.
Proper stodge, but good stodge.
It used to be the Brunswick or the Brunswick Hotel.
Aye, so it's still kind of attached to it. I think they just rent that space out, or the people bought that space, because it used to be, I can't remember, another place that was in there, and the food in there was actually really nice as well. But that was a really good. Some of the, like, I don't go to a lot of lunch nights anymore. I don't know about you, but I find like you get somebody walking around with a tray with like a hamburger cut into 10 pieces, and you get like a tiny little bit of it, and you kind of go, that's nice, but you're not really kind of experiencing the food. Whereas that one, it was like, come in, pick a couple of dishes, try the food, have a drink. Experience what it would be like to spend the night in the bar. Yeah. And that way then I can go away and I can say to people, this is a place I would go because I've spent a night experiencing it. Whereas like sitting in a kind of, some of these launch sites can be quite stuffy and you're kind of sitting and it's not that fun, and then you don't want to be like, oh yeah, you should go here because you've not had a proper night in it.
Jess, you touched on it before we started recording. You said, you get a lot of requests, but...
I do get a lot of requests to try out places and do competitions, but as I was saying to you both before, I really want to try and keep my Instagram what people are following me for, and that's the recipes. And I don't mind going to and doing a few competitions with places that I like, but I don't want my whole feed to be swamped with it and take away from what people really enjoy. I also have on my highlights when I go and eat places, and then I always put it on there, and I try and give my honest review. But I do say no to quite a few places that have asked me to go and eat, simply because probably doesn't look like somewhere I'd go personally. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't go and try it, but if it really isn't somewhere I want to go, I'll politely say no. Or it's hard, like being offered to go and eat out like 3-4, you must be hard for you, like 3-4 times a week. It's a lot on your social life, and then you're having to take someone with you. And then like when I take Richard, he doesn't really enjoy it that much because I'm there, I have to take pictures, and it's all quite social. He just wants to just enjoy himself and just eat. So that part is quite difficult. And I just love, as you know, I love cooking, so I want to be at home. Don't want to keep eating out every single night, just occasionally.
It's going back to that balance that you're talking about. Like, you don't want to be out all the time. There might be a place that you're not really that keen on, but you do get invited to a lot of places, and there's only so many. There's only so many dinners you can eat out.
Yeah.
So you can't do them all, and you kind of want to.
You need to work on the summer bod, but you can't be eating out every single night.
What do these places expect you to do? Is it almost like, they see before you go, do they say, I want you to do X amount of Insta posts, or
I generally just, places will say, do you want to come in, like lunch is on us? And I'll always kind of say to them, like, either no, I don't want to come, like if there's a reason I can't make that day, or if I just don't fancy it, they just say, like, politely say no. If I'm going to go somewhere, then I'll always say to them, I'm happy to come in and try the food, but I'll only post about it if I like it. And that goes back, because I know some people post about places they don't enjoy, but as we've gone back to the time, I mean, I would not, well, I'm not saying that people post about places they don't enjoy and say it's good, but they'll post and say it wasn't good. And obviously that's, for them, that's fine, they're giving their honest feedback. But for me, the time that goes into, I don't want to put a picture up that makes my feed look rubbish. I don't want to put a picture up that somebody might think, without reading what I say, might just think, oh, that place is good, and go, and it's not really a recommendation. So I don't want to put places on my feed that I wouldn't recommend. And that, because it's a few things, it could be, at the end of the day, it's somebody's job and somebody's livelihood. Like, I might not have enjoyed the food, it's not to say that other people won't. And if it's like a small independent place, it's somebody that could be like, like for me, just to go, don't go here, it's rubbish, like just as a throwaway comment, like that's somebody's job and livelihood at the end of the day. And for me, that's not what my page is about. My page is about, these are the places I like.
I love,
So if I go somewhere and I don't like it, I won't mention it. And that for me, that's me keeping it kind of honest on my side, because I'm not saying anything good or bad about that place. But
would you almost feel guilty because you thought, oh no, I've had a free meal there and I've not put
I do, but that's why I always say beforehand, and that's fine. If a place is confident enough that their food is good, then they'll be like, no, come in. If a place comes back and says, no, you need to post about it, regardless, then I'll just be like, that's not for me then, like that's fine, but I don't want to be obligated to post about places if I don't enjoy them. So that's kind of where I draw the line in it. If the place is happy for me to come in and make a decision, then I'm happy to go and try it if it's somewhere that I like the look of or I'm interested in. But other than that, then I would just kind of politely decline the invite.
Jess, one for you. Have you ever put something up, put a recipe up and thought, it's a great recipe, and then someone tries to emulate it and sends you it and tags you and you think, that looks absolutely shit? And I'm not asking you to name the people.
Daily.
Tell by your face.
Daily. But
oh no.
Oh, because it's so sweet, and I just think, I blame the lighting. It must be their lighting. But there's some of them I'm a bit like, oh, I'm not really sure what that is.
Looks nothing like it.
Yeah, but honestly, and most of the time when they post about it, they're so proud of it and they love it. I'm just like, oh, so cute. And
That's a shame.
And then sometimes I repost a lot of them, and then my friends will say to me, God, that was a shocker that you reposted it. And I'm like, Oh no.
You're getting all bitchy about it.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, it's not always rosy, Jess.
I don't want to put people off because obviously I know mine looks good, but that's not realistic really what I don't know, it does look really good. Obviously the lighting is really good where I put it, but I do obviously try and make it perfect. I take about 25,000 photographs and pick the one. So yeah, no one's going to look like that. But
is there some that you don't repost?
Yes.
They're
Why?
really
not
bad ones.
saying.
They're really bad ones.
And you know these people now know that theirs hasn't been reposted.
Oh no, don't. Do you know another thing to mention though? I can't see because I only really follow people back that are like foodies or supermarkets, people that post food, because the reason of that is it's not because I don't want to follow anyone back, it's because of my personal Instagram. I obviously follow loads of friends and I can see all of that on the explore page, but if I started following people back on my food page, I obviously try and get inspiration too, and I look at people's food all the time. Now if I started following anyone and everyone, I'd start seeing people's selfies and things that I want to try and keep it completely separate. That's the reason. But then when people tag me and their account is private, I never get to see it. So I have to keep saying to people occasionally, look, I'm not being rude. If you haven't responded to you tagging me, it's because I literally cannot see it if your account's private. So either screenshot it me or unprivate your account.
It's not because your food looks absolutely
No,
terrible.
it's not because your food looks rubbish.
Unprivate your account so I can see
Yes,
your
I can
mine
see.
the recipe.
And then I'll judge it and decide if I'm putting it on or not.
I'm kidding, but yeah, that is, I do feel bad sometimes because I think majority of people's Instagram are private, so I probably don't get to see hardly any of them. But yeah, so I'm sorry if...
How many do you get in a week or a day?
I
It's
mean,
quite a lot, isn't it?
some nights I can have 20, 30 people tag me that I see. Sometimes it's a couple, but it tends to be the same 5 recipes that seem to have, and I always love seeing one that I really enjoy that not many people make. Like I quite like interesting. I try and keep it quite simple, as you can tell, because I do think that a lot of my following is people that are beginning to cook or trying to learn to cook. So I don't want to make it too complicated. But for me, like I made this amazing crab white wine cream sauce in like, I don't know, it was like butternut squirrels, and it was amazing. And not many people make it because they don't know where to probably get crab. They don't know where to find butternut squash in noodle form. And for me,
Chris is just in the corner scribbling down the next special idea.
it was white crab. And for me, I'm like, when I post it, I'm like, wow, that was amazing. And not many people make it. So me personally, when I go out to restaurants, I do always find those types of dishes more exciting for me. But I do know that I have a particular audience, and I try and make it quite simple. And I know that, for example, chicken tikka, for example, which went insane. People love that. So they're going to make that over some sort of roasted veg tray. Like they're going to, because it's just more hearty. It's a lighter option of the takeaway, and they feel great because they can make it themselves. So I have to try and have a bit of both.
And you post up as well where you've bought all the things from, don't you?
Yeah, I try and tag. Honestly, most of it is probably from Lidl, or I live in a place, right, where I have every single supermarket in a 5-minute walk except Tesco. So everything will be from there except Tesco.
And I suppose, like, for me, again, I'm terrible at cooking. I'm absolutely terrible at it. And I almost think that if I'm buying all this stuff, it's going to cost me a fortune and it's going to take me forever. But the joy of it is a lot of the things that you're posting up don't cost a lot.
No, not
and
at all.
they're quick to make as well.
Yeah, and I always find that. I do think when I look on recipes online and you see the ingredients list, it looks so long, and I'm like, oh, I'm put off. Straight away I'm put off. But then if somebody's looking at something visually on a chopping board and you just write in what it is, I don't know, for some reason your brain just thinks this is so simple. You can see what it is, you can go and buy, I know what all that is, and they'll just buy it and they'll make it, and they've got everything there for them. But certain like types of herbs, which I love, and I know a lot of people like professional chefs would love experimenting with, people just would not be, my followers would not be interested in that. I don't think. A small amount, yes. But, and then I did have somebody make a comment to me a few weeks ago saying they loved my page, but they wished it was more, not exciting, but I experimented more with foods. And I said, look, I could do that, and I would love to do that, but no one would be interested. They just wouldn't. They'd be like, oh, that looks too hard, I'm not making it. So I've got to put a bit of both. So I do try and do it sometimes. But
what's your go-to dish? What's your ultimate that you think everyone will like it?
What do you think? Come on.
It's going to be that pasta.
Of course it is. Honest to God, I have never seen anyone be obsessed, as many people be obsessed with that as it is. When I remember even the day, I actually remember leaving work and walking down the stairs. I even visualise it now and thinking, right, I'm going to make mushrooms in it, even though I hate mushrooms. I'm going to actually make a recipe with mushrooms in it. I'm going to get the sausage and the squash. But I was muttering to myself, I was going down the stairs. I'm like, this is going to be really good. I went home and made it, and Richard was like, that was the best thing you've ever made. So I was like, okay, posted it, and just overnight, boom, like thousands of, like, I think it had got like 2,500, 3,000 likes in it, and I'm like, what the hell? So many people have saved it. Everyone made it. Still to this day, it's like one of the first recipes, like weeks down, and still people are still making it. Richard has it every single frigging Friday, and then again on a Wednesday. I just can't cope. And I said to him, now you can make it because I'm not making it anymore.
You've had enough.
And he's got the easiest step-by-steps to follow.
No,
There's no excuse.
This is the funny thing. He still texts me and says, babe, have we got this in the fridge? What is it I need again? I'm like, go onto my Instagram page and have a look yourself. Like, oh. So yeah, that is definitely one of the favourites. And I would say the Cajun chicken pasta again is a second favourite. People love pasta. And then the chicken tikka masala, the new one. So simple, but everyone loves it. So yeah, that one.
And if you're not cooking in the house, Chris, where would you eat out? If you're from Glasgow in the west, where's the best places to go? You said earlier, right. some people message you and say, give me an idea of places, and you say you always give them 5 or round about that.
Right, so for brunch, I always recommend Scran.
Scran?
Right, it's my favourite place. For a burger, El Perro Negro, for me, I think is the best one.
Nice.
Yeah. The
Little
only
place.
thing about it is you're sitting in on like little stools.
Little
like
bar stools, yeah.
But eventually I'm sure they'll have like an actual
It's a tiny unit just now.
And that actually says in there on leaflets, doesn't say the best burger in the world or something on the leaflet.
They won an award, the UK award for best burger this year.
I was like, wow, okay, this is strong.
And I went in the week after it and had that because the burger's got like it's like Roquefort butter in it. It's like blue cheese or something in it, and it was something that my girlfriend didn't like, so I'd never had it. I'd had like 3 or 4 of the other ones, and I eventually just went in myself one day after I'd met a mate for a few beers, ordered that, some chicken wings and some chips, and it's probably the best £20 I'd spent in a long time. So
it's like you said, it's not cheap, but if you're paying for better quality stuff,
quality.
you'd rather go in there and do that than go to McDonald's.
If I'm going to go out and spend money, like the difference to me is spending a £10 or £15 on food and spending £20. It's not nothing, but it's negligible at the end of the day. If I'm going to enjoy that 10 times more than I'm going to enjoy, I'd feel like I'd wasted £10 or £15. Whereas that £20, I was like, yeah, I'd happily spend that again tomorrow.
It's a treat for yourself as well, isn't it?
But so Scran, love El Perro Negro. Spanish Butcher's always nice for a treat meal, or just if you just fancy going for something a bit different. It's great steak, great burgers, like lovely starters. I love Buck's Bar for the fried chicken.
Where is that?
It's on West Regent Street. So across to like the Peace in West Regent Street.
Yeah? Oh,
yeah, like literally across the road.
It used to be, what was that burger place?
Oh, it was like Jacques.
Jacker de Viande.
Yeah.
Is it quite new then?
No, I think it's been there about 2.5, 3 years. But maybe, I don't know. It was one of these places I came back from living in Australia, and it was there, and it wasn't there when I'd went away. So, like, I'm not entirely sure exactly when it popped up. But yeah, Bucks is really good.
I see that you've done a chicken wing challenge in there recently.
I did. Blindfolded eating chicken. No. That was, the chicken was tasty, but it was one of the messiest things I've ever done. Like, when I finished, I had the sauce on my hands, so I was there with Kirsten, and I'm blindfolded, and you have to eat, I think it's 12 wings, a little punnet of skinny fries, and drink a pint of milk or a glass of milk. So I had to say to Kirsten, can you pass me the chips? Because I obviously couldn't see them, and I'm like, on the tray, the chicken wings, and I'm saying to Cuz like, no, that's the bones, the ones that you've already eaten. So it was kind of unsettling doing it with a blindfold, but it's more of a kind of fun challenge. There's no like, you get 20 minutes to eat it. If you don't, you don't. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of, I suppose, it was based on the Bird Box film on Netflix that was quite big. So that was the kind of thinking behind it, obviously, because it's the Bird Box challenge and it's full of chicken. But
brilliant.
I know it was quite fun, and I don't eat chicken wings a lot because Kirsten's not a big fan of chicken on the bone, so it's not something, if we're sharing, I'll order. So it's nice to just get a tray of them and just be able to kind of wire in.
Some of them are crazy hot though, aren't they?
Well, they were I think 4 of them were like really, really spicy, and then the other ones were kind of varying levels of heat. So yeah, you're sitting like your mouth's a bit on fire. Like for me, like my beard was covered in chicken wings. So you'll hate this. You hate chicken. I was just like, but no, it was a good laugh, and it was more just a kind of a bit of fun than anything else. Like I've done food challenges in other places where like they take it quite seriously, whereas this was just kind of, it's more of a kind of promotion, I suppose, to get people in the door and have a bit of fun, and that's kind of what that place is about. Like, it's good food, good times, and a lot of beer.
Mm-hmm.
But my other, well, I remember Comet Pieces just now is one of my favourite places in Glasgow. They basically,
Is this like a sandwich shop?
yeah, it's Morton rolls,
Right?
but they fill them like these like really
Peace,
like,
the place called Peace.
no, Comet Pieces it's
Comet?
called. It's in Queen Margaret Drive.
Right.
And it's they basically take a Morton's roll, but they fill them with kind of, I suppose, like gourmet options where you might normally get like a roll and sausage and potato scone. They do ones with like sausage, haggis, poached eggs, hot sauce, or like halloumi and spinach.
Ooh.
But you can also create your own. So basically anything they have on the menu, you can ask them to put into a roll. As long as it's on their menu, they'll have it. And we went after, I think took the Monday off after the Super Bowl and had like a few beers and watched the Super Bowl. And we went there on the Monday, and it was just like so good. And I'd been seeing it for ages, and I'd just never been. And now it's near my work as well, so it's really hard to kind of resist the urge most lunchtimes. Just like, yeah, I'm just going to go there and buy more rolls. But no, it's just a place that I came across recently, but it's kind of one of my favourite places to recommend to people just now in Glasgow.
Sounds good.
Sounds
really good.
Definitely worth checking
There's
out.
a place that I really want to go to, but it's only open on Saturdays. The Big Bear Bakery, is it?
Oh,
And they have the
yeah.
queue all the way around the corner.
There was people queuing when it was snowing recently on a Saturday, and
Yeah, I
they
saw that on
still put
Instagram.
a picture, because this is one that Kirsten had said to me about, and I was like, we'll wait till the buzz dies down a bit,
Yeah.
and then we'll go when we don't have to queue. And it's been months, and it's still.
Basically, this woman, I think, I don't know a lot about it. I just tried to look on their Instagram, but I think it's her hobby. So she only opens on a Saturday because she only physically can.
I think they do commercial baking.
Oh, do they?
During the week or something.
Oh,
I
is that
think
what it
somebody
is?
said that to me, that they bake like commercial for places during the week.
Oh.
Because actually, yeah, Scran have their cakes in here sometimes.
Do you? Yeah. Oh my God, then I can come and get one then. Because I want to get one, but they look insane, like unbelievable. Something that you would never normally see anywhere else. So I was like, and I always want to go somewhere where you can't get, if that makes sense. I'm like, I really want to go then. If it's a massive queue, I want to be there. So
You feel like you're missing out if you're
exactly. And I'm like, I'm never awake that early in like 8 a.m. on a Saturday to go all the way into town to queue up in the snow. So yeah,
And
I'm
where
going
is
to
it?
come to Scran.
Whereabouts is it?
I don't know.
I think it
Is it
might be in the
West End?
south side.
Right.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I'm not 100%, but I think it's in the south side. But
So maybe she'll hear this and she'll open an extra day so I can go and get
they
it.
used to be open Saturday, Sunday, and I think maybe if they are doing like commercial stuff during the week, maybe they're just it was too much doing
makes
7
sense.
days, because they did do the 2 days at first, and then it was like, oh, we're open this Saturday but closed this Sunday, or we're closed this Saturday but open on the Sunday. It kind of switches up, but
It's
the
like,
baked stuff like their croissants and
It looks insane.
oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Is there any vegan restaurants or vegetarian restaurants you'd recommend?
Well, do you know, it's funny you say this. I actually used to because I work right near Anderson Station, and so I'm a 5-minute walk into Finniston, and I used to go to the Cran a lot. What's happened to the Cran? Is it still open?
I don't think so. I've not seen anything about it in a while.
I used to like going there, and I used to always have like vegan soups and they do vegan chili, but I'll be honest, I don't really go out of my way to vegan restaurants, but that's where I used to go a lot for my lunch when I was really being quite strict with no meat. And then there's a place called Roots and Fruits in Finniston. It's a nice little deli / shop with organic products, and they also have like a nice deli counter, and they do amazing vegan curries and lots of options, also meat, but a lot of vegan. So I'd have that as well. But apart from that, I can't off the top of my head think of any vegan, to be honest. Can you?
Nah.
You're asking the wrong guy
there.
there.
It's something I go out of my way to go for.
No.
But I said I had the vegan katsu burger in Nice and Sleazy's. So they've got like a Japanese kitchen in there called Coco's. And I tried their vegan katsu burger, and I
katsu.
actually really enjoyed it. but I also tried their burger at the same time,
And
I enjoyed that more.
Yeah.
But like the vegan one was good, but yeah, the burger was better.
And I don't believe for a second you're just going out eating all the time, so where would you recommend to drink? What's your go-to place?
I mean, he's the guy for that.
Well, as we were talking about earlier on, I'm quite into my craft beer, so I'll kind of go to places like Grunt and Growler, so I go if I want to get takeaway and kind of sit in and have a few drinks. And Deep's really good. Crossing the Rubicon as well. Wee Beer Shop's a place I go just more for a takeaway, but again they do like a really good selection of craft beers. But the one thing I think Glasgow's missing actually is like a place to get really good cocktails. Like it's not like you go through to Edinburgh and there's loads of places like Bramble and Panda and Sons and Kin and all these like really like specialist cocktail bars, and I feel like Glasgow's kind of lacking that.
Where is the best cocktail bars in Glasgow?
I had one in So LA recently, and it was really good.
Yeah,
but I only had the one cocktail. But yeah,
I've been in that Blue Dog, but I don't rate it too much.
Is that the one in town?
Aye, right in the city centre on maybe Bath Street.
The piano bar. Again, I was in there years ago, but I brought this up because I know there's a guy Jack that does an Instagram page, Scottish Mixology, and he kind of posts drinks that he creates. And I met him at an event, and I was asking him, and even he was kind of struggling to think of places in Glasgow where like you could get really good cocktails.
Gin 71's quite nice. It's quite a nice experience in there because I'm a gin drinker, so I like it in there. You sit down and they have a huge menu of gins and different mixers, and they give you like a little bit of popcorn, and it's quite cute setup. But I can't. The Spiritualist, I've been there and had a nice couple, but a bit pricey. I honestly can't really think of any that stick out to me, to be honest. But
because I drink an old fashioned usually, or something like that, like Manhattan. Something short and boozy, basically. But yeah, I've had ones in Glasgow and been like, that's good. But all the ones that kind of stick in my head, the cocktails I've had are all places that out with Glasgow. Like recently we went to St Andrews for Kirsten's birthday. The Adamson up there was really cool. With a really nice cocktail menu, a bit different. And like, as I say, there's plenty in Edinburgh, but
Panda and Sons is cool. It's almost
that's on my list to go to the next time I go.
It's really cool. It's almost a wee bit like a speakeasy, but not in the respect if it was a proper speakeasy you wouldn't be able to see it. You know, like
Brambo's kind of like that as well, in Kin, which are two that I was in kind of the last time I was through in Edinburgh. Like Brambo's like kind of downstairs under a dry cleaners, and there's just a little plaque outside the door that says Brambo.
Where's that?
On Queen Street.
Oh, it's in Glasgow?
No, sorry, Queen Street in Edinburgh.
Oh.
Sorry.
And actually Panda and Sons is in Queen Street as well.
There's
the opposite end.
The Redeemer as well. I think there's like 3 of them all in that street, but they're all like kind of downstairs, I think, below the shops. And you would only really... The first time we tried to go to Bramble, we got lost and we ended up in another bar, and then we asked the doorman in the other bar where Bramble was, and he was kind of like... He had that look in his face like, I'm fed up being asked where Bramble is.
That's not good enough for you?
Yeah, so there's nowhere. I suppose again, cocktails is something I kind of drink if we're going out and celebrating like a birthday or an anniversary or something good. And if we're doing that, we tend to maybe go away through to Edinburgh for the night, or go up to St Andrews or something a wee bit different because it's a birthday and you just want to do something a bit different to what you normally do.
It's interesting you say that because I feel you'll be at the heart of this, but I certainly, if I'm going away somewhere, it's that Instagram generation that the first thing you do is if you're looking for food or drinks, you search for the location of where you're going. Yeah. And that's how you end up finding these hidden gems.
If I'm going places now, the good thing about having obviously the page and having a following is I'll kind of put in my stories. Like, I'm going to St Andrews, has anybody been? Or I'm going to London, or I'm going to... And people, like I'm going to Brussels soon on holiday next month, and I'll put up asking people for recommendations in Brussels, and generally when I ask these things and I go to the places, they're really good. And again, it's a bit more of a personal recommendation than just going and looking at TripAdvisor or something like that. So it's because
you're going to get the more touristy places if you look at that, aren't you? It's almost like these wee underground places.
And I think people that follow you want to kind of not impress you, but they want to tell you places that they've really enjoyed.
And they kind of know what you're into, so they'll know where to tell you to go to. So.
Yeah, so
it's a proper scene now, isn't it? There is really this.
Yeah, but it's really good. It's like I was saying earlier on, like the food scene, but it is quite like a little community, and it's quite supportive. Like everybody kind of helps, like mentions other people and kind of says what pages they like, and kind of points people in your direction and stuff. And there's a lot of kind of collaboration in terms of that, and I'll quite often go for drinks with like other people that I know that do blogs and stuff like that, and you kind of people that I would never have met if I hadn't started this, and it's just probably like something that happened that I never really expected to happen. I never expected to kind of meet friends like through taking pictures of food and telling people if it was good or bad, basically.
Is there any rivalry at all? Jess, you know, maybe is there anybody on your page that you think I'm better at cooking than them?
No, I would never think that, honestly.
Why have they got another 10,000 followers that I've not got?
No, I don't think, I'm not just saying this, I haven't seen anybody's page that's similar to mine as of yet. But there's loads of people that post recipes, and I think they're all brilliant. But I don't actually really follow that many. I kind of follow more people that, like Chris, that would recommend restaurants, because that's obviously what I also like doing as well. So, but then I'll obviously follow people like Jamie Oliver. I love him so much. So people like that. Do you not like him?
No.
Oh, no.
I cannot stand
Really?
Jamie Oliver.
I was really addicted to one of his shows for a while. Like me and Kirsten used to watch like every night one of those like 30-minute meals.
Oh,
We'd be,
yeah, brilliant.
Like start recording recipes that he was doing and stuff, and then be like
Why do you
You
like
are going
him?
like this in my estimation.
No,
so-
do you know what I love about him? He's so enthusiastic when he tries something, and that is me. Like, that is so mean. Honestly makes me howl. So I just love him.
Do you know what I don't like about him? And this is me being very judgmental here,
What?
and people are going to maybe judge me on this, but I think he's a fat prick that tries to take sweets and pizzas away from school kids. And I'll be perfectly honest
Stop
with you.
it!
No,
spent my
come
school
on.
days in the chippy.
I was skinnier when I was at school and I had a pizza crunch for lunch every day. I mean, come on, Jamie,
I remember
behave
when that
yourself.
happened, actually. That was good.
Recently, he was trying to get ready 2-for-1 pizzas. Can you imagine Chris's face if that happened?
My God.
Imagine he started saying you
Scandalous.
couldn't eat chicken wings.
It'd be like the next worst thing since minimum price on alcohol.
And there's no doubt that he's a very good chef, but I just think he's a bit... Just let folk be. Sorry, Jess.
We started watching some of his programmes, it would always kind of be like, and just add a little bit of this, and you're like, that's not a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting
Add
in,
some
like,
salt, it's like that.
A little bit of olive oil, and it was like half a bottle going in and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
what I like
like
about it. It makes things look really easy. He doesn't really care.
Do you know what I do like? I like when people tweet their food to Gordon Ramsay.
Oh,
Have you seen
he
this?
posted
And
like
he
it's the biggest load of
absolutely
shit I've
sleeps
ever seen. Oh, he's brilliant.
Aye.
Yeah, I love that.
But aye, that's my opinions on
Okay,
Jamie
fair
Oliver, I'm
enough.
sorry.
We'll
But we
let you
can't
off.
agree on everything. We can't
No,
agree
we
on
can't.
everything.
Struck a
God.
nerve there with the Jamie Oliver
Me
chat.
too.
Oh, honestly, riles me up.
I know a lot of people don't like him, to be fair. It's a love or hate, isn't he, I guess?
Who's your top chef then? Jamie Oliver?
Right. I'm going to say this, and I actually don't even know their name, right? But there is a restaurant, and I follow them on Instagram, and I can't think what it is. But there's a restaurant in New York that I'm obsessed with, right? It's called Bruvette, and he is the chef of this restaurant, and his Instagram is insane, and I'm just obsessed with him. I don't even know who he is, but the stuff he creates is amazing. But apart from that, I'd probably say Jamie Oliver, yeah. But they're probably the only two chefs that I follow on my page, yeah, and I'm just looking at it all the time like, oh my God. I tried to recreate the one in America the other day. I had no idea how they made it. I just looked at it, I thought it was gnocchi, and I was like, I need to make this. And then I created it, and it was insane, but was probably nowhere near as good as that one. But
You
I
could
tried.
have sent it to him and he wouldn't have shared
You
it.
probably wouldn't have even looked. He's like, yeah, biggest load of shit I've ever seen. See ya.
I'm going to go with the man in the corner.
Oi! Get a lot of shout outs tonight.
But
Jamie Oliver would not like him putting burger meat in with his chips.
no, he would
no.
not. In fairness, we got over our kind of watching Jamie Oliver fascination pretty quick. I really like Anthony Bourdain. Although, say a chef, like I watch like his kind of travel shows and stuff like that, and I really enjoy them. And I used to love Gordon Ramsay. I used to watch like
Yeah, brilliant.
Kitchen Nightmares and all the Hell's Kitchen. I used to watch everything that he did, but that was more because of him
It's more a personality thing,
being
isn't it?
angry and shouting at people
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I wouldn't really say like I'm obsessed with any chefs as much, but I don't know. I think my mum's a chef, so growing up, I was always around good food.
You should have said your mum was your favourite chef.
I was thinking that you said it, but she's not anymore. But touching on what you're saying about Jamie Oliver, my mum actually now manages 3 schools. She's a caterer, so she manages 3 kitchens in 3 big schools. So she was a massive part of the Jamie Oliver movement, and she goes into schools and she looks at the menus and tries and changes it, makes it healthier and more balanced for the children. So my mum is basically the new age Jamie Oliver.
So I've
okay,
offended
so
Jamie
try
Oliver
it.
and your mum.
Yeah, so My mum, growing up, was my favourite chef.
Should
but
have
now
kept my mouth shut.
Exactly. Now she has a massive part. She kind of takes, I don't know, she kind of does what he did back in the day. So that's her job.
Do you know what? Good on your mum. Good on Jamie Oliver.
Yeah, you're taking it back now, aren't you?
I'm reining it back in. Apologies to anyone I've offended, and your kids are going to be better in the future. Where do you see it going from here then, both of you? What's your thoughts? Would you ever think, I would love to quit my job and eat food all the time and cook food?
I mean, I think every day that I would love to quit my job.
Yeah.
Whether this is the vehicle for that. It's a hobby at the end of the day. It's a lot of time and effort that goes into it, but it's a hobby, and I do it because I enjoy it. If it ever gets to the point where I don't enjoy doing it anymore, then I'll just stop, I suppose. But I enjoy it. I say meeting like people, like whether it's other bloggers, whether it's people that run restaurants or run cafes, like meeting new people, like that was something that I never thought would come for this, and it's probably one of the best parts of it because it's really just expanded like your social circle, and like seeing people going places and think, oh, I've not been there, I'll need to go there. I still get excited when I see somebody posting about somewhere that I've not been that I want to go, and I'm like, oh, that looks amazing, I need to go and try that. To me, like, as long as that happens, I'll just keep doing it, and whatever happens with the page happens with the page. It's never really been about
Same.
like followers or whatever, or free food or anything. I say I turn down more free food now than probably I
should send it my way, Chris.
I'll give them your Instagram and just say, give Erica a shout.
You could have like a wee group of people that you send out.
Hi, I'm
you could be an agent for
like,
people.
I just like loaning people out. Like I'm going to send some people in to try it for you.
Yeah.
See what response you get to that. They've got 20 followers on Instagram.
But it's just it was never really about that. It was always about kind of trying new places and getting out of that habit of just going to the same restaurants all the time. Not quite managed that with Scran because I do seem to be in here most weekends. But it was all about kind of breaking that, and me and Kirsten kind of trying different places and finally working our way through the list that we weren't really getting to. So as long as there's new places I can try and like new people to meet and things to do, I'll just kind of keep doing it.
Carry on.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Jess?
I get asked this all the time, honestly, and I don't know what the answer is. I think it's just same as Chris. I did it because I love it and I want to keep posting the recipes for as long as I can. And I think a lot of people ask me to do a recipe book, and I think that is because a lot of people aren't really very good at Instagram. So I do have occasional messages saying, I would love to get this for my mum, or some people do message me that don't even have a profile pic and they probably have one follower and they're like, hi, are you going to, do a recipe book soon? Because for old folk like me that can't use Instagram. And I'm like, oh, that would be a really good idea. And then I also have people asking all the time, would you open a restaurant? No, like that is just not for me at all. I enjoy cooking, but I don't enjoy cooking for the masses or under pressure. I just wouldn't enjoy that at all. I grew up with my mum owning a sandwich shop similar to this, really, and I did it with her for about 4 years, and she was under a lot of stress. She obviously enjoyed it and everyone loved it, but for me it just put me off that sort of thing. So I don't know where I want to take it. I just want to, like I say, like Chris, just carry on doing what I'm doing, see where it takes me, and I'll take opportunities as and when they come up and I think they're suitable for me. But my main priority is my job, and I have been working in this industry in fashion for a long time. I don't see myself leaving it anytime soon. So
the recipe book sounds a good one, though.
Yeah, I do think like an ebook or something. I was thinking of doing one to raise money for Kilimanjaro because I'm climbing that in October. And obviously I needed to put some money towards the charity, anything that sells. But
who are you doing it for? What charity?
I'm doing it for a charity called the Nasio Trust, and it's based in Tanzania. It's for 2 communities, and they basically get purified water for waterborne disease. It's the biggest cause of death there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb for 7 days, 5 days up, 2 days down, and then I'm volunteering after for 3 days in either the water run or in a school there with my friend, also called Jess, back in Leicester. So we're not sure what we're going to do.
So it's not just Jess, there's
it's
two
not
Jesses.
Just, there's 2 Jesses, Jess and Jess. I think I decided to do that because I'm 30 next year, and I thought I wanted to do something really different. And a marathon just was not for me. That sort of thing just doesn't cut it for me. So I thought, I'd never been to Africa, and I'd also love to do something that's quite challenging for me mentally and physically, and also giving back. So for me, this was perfect. People call me bonkers, but I do try and stay fit, but this is a different kind of level of mental. But
how are you training? What's your regime?
I go to a gym in Glasgow called Fly Fitness, which is brilliant. It's functional fitness, similar to CrossFit, but it's not CrossFit. Very high intensity, plyometric style training. And then I also do yoga and Pilates about 2-3 times a week now. That's quite new. I have been doing yoga a long time, but not to the extent I'm doing now. And then I also joined another gym, just pure gym in Motherwell, because they have the rotating stepper. Now, a lot of people would say you shouldn't train like that if you're doing something for a mountain. But when I climb it double step, I feel the exact same pain in my legs as I do when I'm doing a mountain. And obviously I have the luxury of living in Scotland. Unlike a lot of people that probably climb it wouldn't be able to just go on their weekends and go to Loch Lomond and climb Bernan or whatever. So I do try and get out as much as I can. Probably not as much as I should really, but I will when the weather gets better and do a few of them. I'll tackle Ben Nevis before I go as well, for sure. I'm
trying to work out how you're going to have time to do these recipes.
Exactly, I don't know. It's just too much for me.
They're bagging Monroes to do recipes.
I know. So yeah, that's not until October though, so I've got a while, but I am taking it seriously. I am really trying to push myself, but it is a lot. I have an intense job, and then I try and keep up to fitness, and then I have a food page and a boyfriend to clean after, you know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Where can folk check these out then, just before we round up? Just to reiterate, is it just on Instagram? What's your pages? Have you got websites?
I'm just Instagram at JustJessFood.
Yeah, I've got various, but Instagram's really the one that I post everything on. So at ChrisEatsGlasgow. The website's a bit dysfunctional just now. I stopped using it.
Is there anything in Glasgow you've not ate? Chris Eats Glasgow. Is there anything you've not ate? Is there anything that you still want to try?
There always will be. That's a good thing about the Glasgow food scene just now. There's always new places opening and kind of places, even places that you've been to, changing their menus. Do you know what I mean? So there's always something new, and that's kind of what I enjoy about it. Off the top of my head, like really want to try Ranjit's Kitchen, which is actually a veggie or a vegan curry place in the south side. Yeah,
I've seen it.
Apparently it's amazing. And I've not got around to that yet. But yeah, I've still got a list of places for when I started that I've still not made it to, because it's actually probably got bigger, if anything, than when it was when I started, because I've started following more places and finding out about more places, and it's almost like a vicious circle. It just keeps adding and adding, but there'll always be something. So
I do think Glasgow is really lucky with the foodie scene. Like there is so many new places, and like Southside, for example, so many independent cafes popping up, and then you've got Finniston, loads of lovely restaurants, and then the centre. I just think, because obviously I lived in London before here, so everything's so widespread. But then to find restaurants, places like Scran, you'd have to go down south, and I think like Balham area, Clapham. But I think with Glasgow, you've got everything in a 20-minute radius and then popping up all the time. So it's brilliant. Really lucky people are living here.
I was very lucky.
You are. You don't know it.
There we are. So thanks very much to everyone that listened to this episode of the DW podcast. Thanks very much to Chris and the team at Scran for letting us film here. Most importantly, thanks to Jess and Chris again for coming on. I hope that you've not listened to this after eating your dinner, because I'm sure that you'll be wanting to go out and eat something else again. And my advice, if you're going to follow Jess and you're going to follow Chris, eat what Jess posts during the week. And then at the weekends, go on Chris's page and find yourself something a wee bit less healthy. It's obviously working for me, as you can see. But yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. Again, you can like us on Spotify, Instagram's at Derek Watson 89, on iTunes at the DW Podcast, and please like and subscribe. And thanks very much again for tuning in. Cheers.
Bye.